So I restarted keto. And then I was like, you know what? I think one of the things that I'm missing is I don't really have like that much of a support group. Like I have a lot of friends who really like only struggle with like 5 to 10 pounds of losing weight. And when you have like 120 pounds to lose, like the last thing you want to hear is someone being like, oh, I'm really trying to lose these last 5 pounds. Like it drives you crazy, you know? So I decided that I would start doing YouTube videos, and so I filmed a YouTube video every week for a year. And after that year, I had lost 100 pounds. And I think a combination of just like really working on my mental health, having that support system, and then the accountability. And then, of course, like, as you know, when you get keto adapted, like everything changes. Like, for the first time, I really felt like I had that freedom for food where I wasn't hungry all the time. I was satisfied with my meals. I could go out to eat with friends and find plenty of options back when we could go out to eat. um, and, you know, there was just like, it was just a completely different lifestyle change, which was really like at the core of what I needed all along. So, yeah, I mean, I've lost like a total of 120 pounds and now have been keto for 6 years and absolutely love it and try to advocate and talk to as many people as I can about it.
I really love the results that you got, and also just your approach to it has always felt to me like very balanced. And you really did keto properly, like just approaching it as a whole food, single ingredient, change of lifestyle, and centering it on health. Like that was your main motivation. It wasn't just, I want to lose weight for this upcoming event or
Yeah.
which, we can all fall prey to. But I curious, what do you think made you so successful in like losing that over 100 pounds in the first place?
I think it was multiple things. I think one for sure, I had a food addiction, like 100%. Like, and it's kind of, one of the things that I always think about is for a lot of people who have addictions, like let's say that you have like an addiction to like alcohol or smoking or gambling or whatever. I mean, there's tons of different vices that people have. One of the things that are in common with a lot of those things, though, is like, although it may be extremely difficult to stop doing those things, you don't have to continue doing those things to live. So if you have a food addiction, it's especially challenging because like you have to eat to live. So it's kind of like if food is an addiction issue for you, it's kind of like, here's a little bit of this like drug, and make sure that you like make good decisions, make sure you don't have too much. So it can be really tricky because it's something that you actually have to moderate. And when you're eating like super sugary foods and carbs, that is like, it's basically like walking uphill. So I think one of the reasons why keto really helped me is because I got to break away from those foods that were causing me to always want more and more and more and always being hungry. So I think just satiating my appetite, making me feel fuller for longer, and really breaking that sugar addiction was like super helpful. But the other side of it, I think, was really working on my mental health. And part of that was like having a community of support and really being able to talk about all the struggles and the ups and downs and like my awful, awful self-esteem that had developed through all these failed attempts to lose weight and just like being made fun of and teased and like all these things that like I really needed to just get off of my chest. So I think having those two things combined were like just so important for like really lasting, sustainable change.
So it sounds like it was addressing the fact that this was food addiction, mental, physiological, logical, and then also shoring yourself up with community and support.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of times we all look at like our weight, like, man, I just want to lose weight and then I'll be happy. But really it's the flip side of like, you really need to be happy and love yourself. And then the results come. Like, we kind of have to flip the script on like where our priorities are. It's just, you don't just like lose weight and then everything's better. Like you get things better in your life and your habits and your day to day. It's small changes done consistently, working on that mental health, having that support system, really working on your inner voice, because we are all so incredibly critical of ourselves. So really just like pausing in those moments that we're like, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not losing weight fast enough. Like all these lies that we tell ourselves like really are detrimental. So even if you had to stop and think, okay, I need to change this thought, like I can do this, like I am good enough. And, you know, if I just keep trying every single day and don't give up, like you will not fail.
So what was it like when you first made the change? Like sort of what was your diet like, and then what did you change it to?
Well, you know, at first, like the first year, I was incredibly strict, like very, very, like, I mean, I counted everything in my fitness pal. I tracked every little thing. And I made this commitment to track because I really realized through all of this that I needed like a full course on nutrition. And it's so funny because you would think that like somebody who had tried like, you know, over 20 different diets would be like, have their PhD in nutrition. But when I started keto, I realized that that was the very first thing that I had tried that actually taught me what's in this food, why am I not eating this food, and what does the food have as an effect on my body. And when you learn those things, then no longer are you saying like, this food is bad. Like you're breaking away from this good, bad thought. And you're saying like, when I eat this food, this is going to spike my blood sugar. And then my pancreas has to release insulin and all these things happen to try to balance my body out. And so if you just know that you're avoiding a certain food to avoid, you know, your glucose spiking through the roof and then being hungry and tired and having to eat again. And once you know that cycle, then you're really empowered to make decisions from a place of empowerment instead of feeling like you just can't have something.
Yeah, so you really had to learn about nutrition. That's what I always think, like keto makes you learn about what's a macronutrient, you know, something I never, in all the diet books I read, I never came across that. You have to learn what macros are and like you said, how they affect you. And then, you know, if you do sort of a little bit of testing and then you start learning like how your body responds to things. And it's really that learning and that education on nutrition really helps, you know, make the change. So